Hi guys, we are the Office Blokes. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Yeah, we are the Office Blokes. As simple as that, isn't it?
Correct.
We had a bit of a. I was going to say bombshell, but not a bombshell because we kind of half expected it yesterday.
Well, we got wind, didn't we, early in the morning? That something wasn't right.
It was my people at Balmoral.
Yeah,
my family members.
Yeah.
Was it?
I got my boys down in Windsor. My Windsor hardcore posse.
The Windsor Massive.
We're on the
Windsor Knots.
Yeah, and they we got word that the Queen had fallen ill, and she was under medical supervision, and we knew something was imminent because everyone started rushing down to Balmoral, up to Balmoral.
Yeah, whole family went there. And
Yeah. So
it's a sad one. Like
very much so. Yeah,
I'm not a royalist or an anti-royalist. I like the fact that we've got a royal family, but I don't. I'm not passionate either way that we should get rid of them, or I'm absolutely in love with them. But I was really sad.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Think about the Queen. She was like everybody's grandmother.
Yeah,
we didn't know her personally, obviously, but it was one of them where you relied on her to keep our country very sort of like stable. Yeah, she was the grandmother that sort of like looked after everybody.
Yeah, she was a great figurehead for the country, for everyone around the world to see that she's not representative of the general population necessarily, but she's like, if people perceive us as leading by her following her example, then there's not many people. There's a good perception.
There's not many people who are alive that can say they've lived under a different monarch.
No,
she's been in power for 70 years.
Yeah,
she's reigned for 70 years, and we've only ever known that. And I've only ever known the currency to have the Queen's head on it. I've only ever known ER. Elizabeth Regina. I've only ever known her head on a stamp.
Yeah,
it's all things like the back of a coin or the front
take
of
it
a
for granted, don't you?
You do. You don't.
Massively.
I've never seen anyone else on the back of a coin or the front of a coin, whichever way you want to look at it. But it's now all that's got to change.
Well, I think notes don't all have the Queen on, do they?
Yeah, every single
do
note.
they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
isn't there?
The Queen's on the front of every note.
Oh, is it on the back that there's
the back?
That's usually different ones, isn't it? So
yeah. It's there was all types of stats being said last night because obviously, like, you get a news reporter sat at a desk and it's just him talking for an hour with no particular updates, and one of them was like, I think it's 15 US presidents that have come and gone during her reign. They said, I think it was like 12 prime ministers.
14,
or
I think
was it 14 prime
12,
ministers?
14, something, yeah.
And they're saying like all the
first
things.
one was Winston Churchill, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
That's
then they played Churchill's speech of her. What it wouldn't be inauguration, would it? Her sort
coronation.
Her coronation. Sorry, Churchill's speech, and you get goosebumps listening to Churchill talking. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, now we got Liz Truss.
I know. Yeah, oozes charisma, doesn't she?
Hey.
Yeah, but yeah, do you know? Here's a quiz question for you based on this. During Queen Elizabeth's father was George VI, so that was Georgian times when George VI ruled. Prior to him was George V. Then came Elizabeth, became Elizabethan times. Now it's Charles. Do you know what the time's called now? The era we're in? He's going to be called Charles III. King Charles III.
You'd think it's going to be like...
idea.
So is this Georgian, Elizabethan, and now you've got what the era we're in
Charles. I don't know. There's no like.
Is this a joke or
no?
Is this
no.
absolutely true?
This is true. Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's going to be some. Yeah, I don't think it's going to relate to the name as much as Elizabethan does. Charles something maybe. I don't know.
The Charleston.
Charleston.
No, it's not Charleston. I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I do know. I do know. It's going to be called Carolingen.
Carolingen?
It's called Carolingen. Carolingen's the posh way to say Charles.
I thought that meant blowjob.
Really?
Carolingus.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you know that?
I just know about it.
Wow.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
It's a quiz question, you see, so that's how I knew. Because I knew it ages ago, because when someone asked me the question ages ago about when it happens, because it was eventually going to happen, wasn't it? What would be the era called? I didn't know, so I had to look it up years ago.
Right, okay.
I was saying in the office earlier today, I said it to you guys, that obviously she was much loved, the Queen, absolutely, and even people that aren't royalists. Loads of people on the news last night saying, I'm not a royalist whatsoever, but she was ours. She was our Queen.
Yeah.
And obviously the perception of the royal family is on rocky grounds because of certain members of the royal family anyway.
Prince Andrew
being one of them. we've got Charles now, and is that going to do anything in particular for people's perception? And it's not that he's a bad guy, and it's not that there's loads of scandal around him, but she was loved, and he's kind of like meh for most people.
It's been a bit more controversial over the years, certainly when it comes to environmental matters and things like that.
His dad, wasn't he?
Maybe in a good way, because obviously he's for the environment and things like that. But whereas the Queen, she's more or less pretty much kept out of it. She's been kept a pretty sort of like level and stable view on pretty much everything, hasn't she?
Very neutral, very balanced.
But I mean, for all the years she's been doing, was the Queen, she's just never put a foot wrong. I mean, some of the things she's put up with over the years, through Diana's death and things like that, and COVID, all the things, just unbelievable.
Losing a grandson.
Absolutely,
I know he's not dead, but he's gone.
Well,
but I don't think it's the Queen's like she's a machine, isn't she? When it comes to it, she was 26 when she was crowned on a coronation, and she died when she was 96, and 70 years of being in charge of not just the Queen of the UK or Queen of Great Britain, but the Queen of the Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth, I did not know how big it actually was.
Commonwealth's huge, Well,
it's like half of the world's population, is it? Or almost.
Not sure, it's a lot anyway.
Well, it will be because India's in there, isn't it? So that gives you like, a big that pushes the numbers right up.
The stats they were talking about were absolutely crazy when I was listening to it last night.
Yeah, but she's also head of the Church of England.
Yeah, of course,
things like that as well. So it's there was a lot of stuff she did, and she, like you say, very neutral. Went through all the prime ministers that was here and what she's seen, and someone did a great thing, and I don't know if it was can't remember who said it. They said she was, I don't know if it might be Macron who said it. It was someone who come up and said it, and she said she was your queen, but to everyone else she was the queen.
Absolutely.
And if anyone around the world, if you refer to someone as the Queen, you're talking about Elizabeth II.
Think she's the most famous person in the world, the Queen?
I'm not sure.
I think
one of the, at least I would say, but
I think people with no ties to popular culture whatsoever know who she is all around the world. Yeah. Whereas, like, if you're going to say it's a movie star or a sports star or someone like that, there's still a tenuous link to popular culture there. Where she transcended that. She was, like you said, the Queen.
Especially with being Queen of the Commonwealth, all about, even if she was Queen of a Commonwealth country in one part of the world, even like next door she might not have been, but all were, spreading out from around there, they all know about it, don't they?
All the historical events that she's been involved in, or at least been next to.
Huge events, even just going through, Princess Diana, that was worldwide, wasn't it? She was probably one of the most famous women in the world at one stage as well. But obviously the Queen's been through all that as well, all the world wars, things like that. But
whether she's the most famous person in the world, I'm just a bit unsure about that. But she, possibly she'll be up there.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
No. It's just,
she will be now, that's for sure, because every news station in the whole world is talking about it.
Yeah, cancelled all the sport over here over the weekend as well, so there's no sport going on.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of it's been cut. Well, most has been called off, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I say, I didn't think, because we kind of knew something was coming when we were recording yesterday.
Yeah.
And actually getting in the car, listening to the radio. I went to the gym after work, so she hadn't been announced at that point. But when I got out of the gym, all the radio stations were BBC News. And I was driving home, and it was sad.
Yeah, I think even this year we've sort of seen it coming to a certain extent because the duties have been getting less and less, haven't they? She's appearing less.
It happened about 5 years ago, I think, where duties were sort of like a lot more serious duties were being handed over to Charles.
Yeah, you're right.
But my son sent me a message this morning. He said, "What's this?" And he didn't know what Sound Cry was.
Yeah, which is mad.
So he sent me a video of a guy going, "Hear ye, hear ye! Here's the announcement that the Queen Elizabeth II is now dead." And it's like a news bulletin. They stand in the middle of people who don't know. They stand in the middle of a village, ring a bell, and they're dressed in a very...
It's like really traditional almost beefeatery.
Sort of like a cloak and sort of like suit, sort of...
with the pointy hat.
Did have a chain round as well.
Yeah, it's almost like a Lord Mayor type thing. And
that's right,
they ring a bell, and it's the announcement of news, headline news.
It's to gather people together, isn't it, in like the village squares, get the bell going so everyone goes there.
And then you announce the news, So that's what he did, and he'd never seen it before.
Amazing.
He's like, wow. What is it? So I was like, it's a Sound Cry.
Wow, that's amazing. That you think they'd still teach things like that in history, wouldn't you? But it makes our history.
Why would you?
Yeah. There's so much history. Why that specifically?
I suppose so.
Recent history tends to get forgotten about quicker than older history. I think so. Key events from 1,000 years ago get taught key events from 30 years ago, not necessarily.
Not quite so much.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But you don't know, if you look at when they're talking about the mourning period now. So the Royals have issued a 7-day mourning period for a royal mourning, and then you're going to have the public mourning, which is probably going to be a 10-day period, I'm guessing. So it'd be the 7+3 from the day of the funeral, or whatever it may be. So it'd be 10 days mourning. So now what'll happen now is the Queen's body will go to from Balmoral. It'll go to Holyrood House. Do you know this? Do you know what happens?
No, I don't.
Right,
actually.
so it'll go from Balmoral to Holyrood House, which is the official residence of the Queen for Scotland in Scotland, and then it'll line rest there. I don't know what you call it, line rest, line wake, for people to do a public viewing.
Yeah,
for a day, maybe 2 days.
Oh, really?
Then it's
lying in state, isn't it? I think.
Then it's driven. I'm not sure where it's driven to there, but I think he'll either go on the Royal Rail from Edinburgh down to. I think it's driven to Edinburgh, and then it'll go on the Royal Rail from Edinburgh back down to London, or it'll be flown from Edinburgh to London.
Yeah,
and then it'll lie in wake in. I'm guessing it'll be
Westminster Abbey. Or
Westminster
something like
Abbey,
that.
yeah. Where was the Queen Mother? Was that Westminster Abbey?
I think it was. It'd be either that or St Paul's, won't it? I'm not too
I
sure.
don't think it'll be St Paul's. I think it'll be Westminster Abbey, and then there'll be then that'll be open to the public for about 4 days, for a public viewing, and then they'll have a state funeral after that.
I think is it going to be week on Monday? I think that's
I've not heard a date
yet. I did hear online somewhere. It might not be right, but that's what they were mooting.
It makes sense. So. They'll probably have a bank holiday over here for it.
I think it was like a day of mourning, like a bank holiday, I suppose. So.
Yeah.
I think her death symbolises the end of an era. I think that there will now be Scottish independence. I think there'll be, like, politically within the UK and Great Britain. I think there's going to be.
Yeah, sure, because the royals were very big, and Prince Charles went to school in Scotland. Remember?
I know, so they're well thought of in a lot of Scotland.
Yeah.
But I just think she may have been the glue that held a lot of things together in a lot of ways.
I get that. This is.
I'm not sure, because I think what you've got now is one of the reasons to bring in Camilla as the Queen Consort. I think she's got that very similar sort of like persona as the Queen had.
Yeah.
So Camilla's going to come in as almost like that grandmother figure again. So you're going to have that sort of thing within the state again.
Yeah.
So it's something that we're not really losing bringing Camilla in, but Camilla's not very well taken to by a lot of people because of the Diana situation. So she's never
that's the main reason.
She's tried to win him over the years, and she's done very well doing it, but. I quite like Camilla and Charles. I don't see anything wrong with them.
Got nothing against them whatsoever.
She actually seems quite nice, doesn't she? She seems that you can just tell she looks like she's got a really nice personality, that type of.
It's funny, isn't it, if you're a normal person, not in the public eye, and you break up from a partner and get with someone else, or sometimes there's crossover for people and things like that. People just go, at least they're happy. If you're in the public eye, you're a royal or anything like that, you're branded for life.
People take sides of it, don't they? And you have the favourites and things like that.
But what'll happen now is everyone slides up the chain now as well. So what you'll find now as well is one of the things that Meghan Markle was complaining about that her kids were not going to be prince and princess. Now they're eligible to become prince and princess.
Yeah.
So they weren't eligible when the Queen was alive.
Yeah.
Once the Queen goes, and once she's gone now, then it moves up. They slide up the scale.
Yeah.
So now they're prince and princess now.
Yeah.
And what will happen is Prince William will become the Prince of Wales, but he'll have to get that bestowed upon him from Prince Charles or King Charles now.
Yeah.
So they all sort of like everyone slides up a little bit and gets more responsibility.
It's all predetermined, isn't it? It's over like centuries where it's been. This is what
tradition.
It's all written down and everything, so know what's going to happen.
What happens when the Queen passed yesterday? Charles has to be crowned king within a day. I don't know if you know that. Has to be done today.
I
heard that he was king straight away. Anyway, he's referred to as King Charles straight away.
He's referred to King Charles straight away, but the actual ceremony of announcing him as king, I don't know what you call it. It's like the ceremony of answering. They have to do it at St James's Palace.
Yeah,
right. And that's what he's going to do today, and then he's going to address the nation at 6:00 tonight, our time.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, and he'll do that from the balcony at St Paul's Cathedral.
Yeah.
So he'll. I think it's St Paul's, or he might do it from St James's. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but I've got a feeling it's St James. St James will be the coronation type of thing, where they look over the courtyard, and he'll address everyone over the top of the courtyard. But then he's going to address the nation, I think, from St Paul's Cathedral tonight.
Right, okay.
6:00. I might be wrong with St Paul's, the location.
I thought Harry and Meghan, it wouldn't be abdicated, would it? They gave up their royal titles.
They didn't give them up. They were taken away from them. But there's still Duke and Duchess. There's still Duke and Duchess of Sussex. There will always be that.
Right. So even though, so what was the point of them giving up?
Because their Mountbatten Windsors, you can't lose that, I guess.
Right.
But they give up the royal duties.
Royal duties.
Royal duties,
right.
yeah.
So
the kids were taken away.
So the kids are still,
well, still
like
royal.
you said, the prince and princess.
Yeah, because that's
still related, aren't they? I suppose and everything. So
you never lose that royal. They'll never not be royal.
Yeah.
Don't know. It's what it is, but it's.
There's been a few royals over the years that have disappeared.
Well, some of them weren't royals, but Prince Andrew will always be a royal. He's just been, but some of them, Fergie wasn't a royal.
Yeah,
she married a royal.
There was one years ago that got put in a asylum, and it's like I watched a documentary on it years and years ago, but it was a high up royal. I think it was like a prince.
How many
or
years
princess.
he gone back?
Talking like 70, 80 years ago, in an asylum.
78 years ago would have been George VI. Unless you're talking about relatives.
It was someone very high up that was either prince, princess, or, because they have a lot of kids, don't they? Like, we don't know. People who are into it know all the kids, but...
Yeah.
I watched a documentary.
Don't say who it was, Dave, because you'll get it wrong.
I absolutely will. I don't remember. It's one of those very tenuous things I watched a documentary on years ago.
Yeah.
Was it Prince Edward, the Black Prince?
It was she was female.
Oh, female?
Female.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Probably had hysteria. She probably had an argument with the wrong person. And
I think I might have seen a programme about that.
Yeah.
There must have been.
Yeah.
It just sort of slightly rings a bell, that, but I'm not going to say any names.
No, well, I don't know.
I'm not going to do a Dave.
I'm speculating. Speculating. Anyway, so we're gonna square this off. I mean, feel free in the comment section to let us know what you thought of the Queen and the royal family in general. But we are focusing on the Queen today.
Yeah.
We're going to watch this short infographics video of what happens when the Queen dies. I think we kind of know based off what has happened over the last.
Well, I'm just looking at. I'm just looking at the hashtag there, Operation London Bridge, and that wasn't. That'll be the second part now because it's not Operation London Bridge because she died in Balmoral. Operation London Bridge is only if she died in Windsor Castle or in Buckingham Palace.
Right.
But because she died in Balmoral, it becomes Operation something else.
So it's a different sort of
starts with that, and then it will go from Balmoral to Holyrood House to Edinburgh, and then it hands over to Operation London Bridge, where the British, the English side get involved.
Yeah,
for the
London
residency.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, how many things over the past decade, absolute historical world events seem to have happened? Because this is significant. This is, people know about this for...
this is huge.
For the next 1,000 years,
yeah,
people... And the same with COVID, because it was the Black Death 100 years... Not the Black Death, sorry, the Spanish flu 100 years ago, and that's still taught in schools.
Yeah.
We've had so many significant events, it seems like, in a short period of time.
Yeah, time's moving fast.
Yeah. Let's do it anyway. What happens when the Queen dies?
Death comes for everyone, even the Queen, and when her long life ends, England has a plan. It's called Operation London Bridge, and it might be one of the most elaborate funeral plans of all time. The Prime Minister will receive word via the code word London Bridge is down, and he'll set the plan into motion, starting by sending word to the other countries in the
She.
Is that correct? Is that what the song London Bridge is falling down is about? Is that discontent in the sort of people? It's like a down with the royals sort of.
Yeah,
I've never even thought about it.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I didn't know that.
It's like when London Bridge is falling down. It's like the end of the royal, the power of the royals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or the power of the Commonwealth or whatever you want to call it. The empire.
Never knew that. Interesting.
The government websites and social media accounts will then turn black and only publish urgent news, and the media will suspend all regular programming for a formal announcement. A ceremony of remembrance with gun salutes will take place at St. Paul's Cathedral. I know it's a short video and we're going to keep pausing it, but when I was in your office this morning, they said there's going to be one gun salute per year she was alive, didn't they?
Be like there all day.
Like a machine gun.
96. It's going to be cannons, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cannons.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay,
Yes, it's going to be 96 fires of a cannon.
Wow. They were doing it in Gibraltar over lunch when I was watching TV over lunch. And it was going on for ages. And then he said, now the bells are going to ring at St. Paul's Cathedral. Yeah. And it just went, ding.
One bell for every month she
was alive. And they were waiting like that. And I'm like, Anyway, we're going to go to Aberdeen Airport now where we see Prince Charles getting on a plane. And I'm like, just show us images of the Queen from like when she was, happier times, coronation, silver jubilee, golden jubilee, platinum jubilee.
You're right.
Do all that.
Watching your
The next day, the Accession Council meets to proclaim the next monarch, likely Queen Elizabeth's eldest son, Charles. He will then take over the funeral planning, which will take place 10 days after the Queen's death at Westminster Abbey. This will be declared a day of national mourning. But not just one day, the United Kingdom will have a full 10-day period of mourning, from when she dies to the funeral, with flags flown at half-mast.
There you go.
That was short and sweet, wasn't it?
I presume that's
We can
part-
elaborate. We can elaborate a little bit on that. We can elaborate a little bit more on that as well. It's the 7 day. It's a 7 day official mourning for the royal mourning, and then we get the additional 3 for public. So it's 10 days from public from death to burial.
Yeah.
It will be Westminster Abbey, like we said.
Yeah, sounds like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But what an incredible life she's had, though. I mean,
Superb.
7 years service, for the country, and what she's done for this country has been absolutely amazing. I'm just not sure whether anyone could fill her boots doing it so well, because she's been absolutely flawless.
From the age of 26.
Amazing. And and I'm
Very
not
young age
a
since her
massive
dad passed
royalist.
away.
There's a few of those that I'm not keen on at all, but you can't fault, the Queen. She's been absolutely incredible.
She
What a woman.
served us as a country and the Commonwealth and the Church of England as the best you could ever imagine anyone to do.
Oh, without a doubt.
Do you know one of the legacies she's leaving, which doesn't seem to be massively talked about for some reason, is the Commonwealth canopy, and it's where she's trying to join the world all the way round in forest, and it's trying to essentially rewild and reforest the planet.
Yeah,
Isn't that Charles that's doing that?
The Queen started it off.
It seemed right up his street, though, I think, wasn't
yeah,
it?
I think
Charles has sort of taken it over, but it's been worked on for a couple of decades, and I'm sure it was her thing. But it doesn't seem to be widely talked about.
No,
all these pushes to reforest the world, and
she's probably done a lot more for this country than we actually know.
Absolutely,
we probably just scratched the surface.
We take it for
on
granted.
What we know.
Yeah,
we probably take it for granted at our level of who we are.
Yeah.
It is the consistency, because she's just always been there, hasn't she? It's been a constant, like they say.
We've never known anything else, like we said.
Nothing different.
She was driving ambulances in the Second World War, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And you think of things like that, and it's like not above anyone else, although holding the highest position on earth, probably. It's amazing.
Yeah, she was with James Bond.
In the sense that she's been brilliant.
Yeah,
even just a few.
Paddington Bear.
It was just a week or two ago, that wasn't it, with Paddington Bear?
It was on a 70th. Was that the 70th?
That's right.
Jubilee?
It's on the Jubilee show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Great. What sense of humour as well.
Yeah, she
superb.
has.
I won't mind betting it's the most watched royal speech this Christmas. Because she did the Queen's speech every Christmas day.
Again, yeah.
I think a lot of people I'm interested to see what Charles is going to say and how he's going to sort of lay out his future and the country's future and things like that.
As you say, in show business, even though it's a tough act to follow. That's for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think if anyone can do it, Charles can. He's not like a 26-year-old coming in like he's not. I mean, Prince William's in his 30s now as well. I think, if not 40. But Charles is in his 70s.
Yeah.
He's coming in as a seasoned professional.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
he knows the ropes, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he knows what to do. Yeah. So I think it'll be in pretty safe hands, to be fair.
I think so. I think the only clash that you might see with what the Queen never got involved with was politics.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure Charles will take a step back from that. So that's my only concern. I think Charles might want to know a little bit too much. He might be a little bit too hands-on.
I think you're absolutely right. I think he'll definitely delve into it a bit more.
Especially what's been going on the last 2 or 3 years with the Conservatives and the Tories.
Especially environmental-wise, he's really, really strong on that, isn't he? He really is. So I think it might be for the good. It might be a good thing that he does sort of get in there a bit more and debate the questions of the day. Yeah. But I don't know.
But sad times all around. It's
of course it is,
I'd rather, me personally, I'd rather celebrate her life than mourn the death.
That's what you should always do when people die.
It's not a shock that she's died. She was 96. If it's a shock to anyone, then they know what they're going to have a lot of shocks in their life.
Yeah,
But for me, it's I'm cancelling sport. I'd rather celebrate her life watching sport this weekend, because she was a massive sports fan.
Yeah,
sort of thing. She loved the horse racing. She liked football. She was into all that. So it was like for me to not be able to go to the match and bell out chants of "God Save the Queen" and and all that kind of stuff.
A couple of matches last night.
West Ham did it. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
that's a good shout.
That would have been me. I'd have been right at the forefront of that.
Yeah.
Top of my voice, stood there.
Absolutely. Yeah. What a tribute that. You got 60,000 fans. Singing that. And supporting.
Yeah.
And absolutely brilliant.
That to me, that would have happened at every single football stadium.
Away fans, home fans,
exactly,
all together.
You
know what? You're completely right there. You really are.
So that was my only downside of what's happened this week, is I'm cancelling them games, which is a little bit disappointing for me.
Yeah,
but I get it. I understand it, and it's I can move on. you know, but there'll be a lot of patriotism around the country this weekend.
Yeah,
and it's you know, for them, I even said, you know, if these Tottenham Hotspur fans coming up to Manchester, if they booked a train and they booked a hotel and they were coming up to Manchester to watch the match, give me a shout, man. I'll come out for a beer with you and we'll chat football for 2 hours. You know, instead of going to the game, we'll just talk shit for 2 hours and talk about, you know, things, share a beer and bring the country together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
well, yeah. Cheers for that one, guys. Again, let us know in the comments section if you've got anything to say, anything to add to this. And we'll see you again soon.
See you.
Cheers.